Hello, I'm Eric Bellman, Product Manager here at SENCO. I'm excited to introduce and demonstrate a unique fastening system for finish and trim applications. SENCO takes great pride in producing exceptional quality tools and fasteners, and this system is no exception. The FinishPro 21 LXP is a 21 gauge slight head pinner that fires 21 gauge pins in lengths from 5/8 inches up through 2 inches. 21 gauge pins leave a smaller hole than an 18 gauge brad without compromise on holding power like you would see in a 23 gauge micro pin. Also, 23 gauge micro pins can occasionally follow the wood grain as they are driven, often having fasteners veer off course and exit the side of the workpiece or not seat completely. Now let's look at some of the features on the FinishPro 21 LXP. First, it has the ergonomically designed handle for comfort and maneuverability. The magazine automatically adjusts when you load the fasteners, so all you have to do is load the fasteners, close the magazine, you're ready to go. It has an ultra narrow nose piece for easy access to intricate millwork and tight corners. It's equipped with a dry fire lockout, which prevents unintended dry fires to help protect the work surface. It's also equipped with a convenient belt hook, and the tool includes 2 no-more pads, a swivel air plug, tool oil, a rugged carrying case, and it carries a 5-year warranty. Okay, I'd like to introduce Tom Hodson now, our fastener product manager here at SENCO, to take a look at the fasteners themselves and show some of the applications where the 21 gauge system would be a perfect choice.
Thanks, Eric. As you said, it goes from 5/8 up to 2 inches, and some of the applications are real ornate millwork. Sometimes in colonial style crown molding, there's dental molding, and as houses getting built nowadays in a higher end in a craftsman style home, all of that trim is not painted, it's stained. So you don't want to leave a hole big enough to mess up the millwork. So this 21 gauge pin is actually great. It's right in between the 18 gauge and the 23 gauge. It has the holding power you need for this type of application, and still leaves a small enough hole where you can't see it, kind of like a 21 gauge pin. All right, let's see how this works.
Okay, let's take a look at it. First, always put your safety glasses on when you're working with any power tool, and I'll go ahead and demonstrate how to load up a strip of 21 gauge pins here. Again, as I said, the automatically adjusting magazine makes loading easy. Just drop the strip in there, close it up, and you're all set to go. We'll hook up with some air here. And we've got some pretty intricate trim work here, you'd say, like you were talking about there, right, for millwork or different ornate materials. I'm going to go ahead and fire a couple of pins in some of these different pieces.
Now that's an oak piece, so what's great about that pin, even in some more exotic woods, as you talked about before, what happens with micro pins, they can trace, right, they follow the wood grain, and that comes out, it's called a fish hooking. And this pin has enough columnar strength where it won't do that.
Right. Even on some smaller, more intricate pieces, it's got the smallness, if you will, to not split or damage the wood, but it's still got that holding power of an 18 gauge brad. Right. On that note, I'd like to illustrate the size differences between the 3 different tools we've been talking about. So over here we've got an 18 gauge brad mark. On the other side we have a 23 gauge micro pinner mark, and then in the middle we've got the new 21 gauge pin mark. So you can see the 18 gauge brad, in comparison to the other 2 hole sizes, is significantly larger, whereas the 23 and the 21 pins are almost the same size. But the good thing about the 21 gauge pin, the size of the hole is not much larger than the micro pin, but the holding power of the 21 gauge pin is comparable to an 18 gauge brad.
Right, and it didn't mess up the molding at all.
Exactly, exactly. So this tool, the 21 LXP, is a perfect addition to anyone's toolbox that's doing trim work, mill work, anything you would typically use an 18 gauge for, but are looking for a smaller hole like a micro pinner.